All right, g'day guys. We're in Birdsville. We made it. Everyone made it good. I'm here at the Roadhouse. Blake here, he's having a look at the Cruiser for us. And I'm just going to check out that suspension because we've been driving on this Terrain Tamer Pro Shocks for about 20,000 Ks. And I've just done my first desert crossing on the Parabolics that we chucked in Alice. So I'll go and have a look at them. I'll tell you a little bit about them. Well, the shocks, sorry about my eyes. I have to say that after driving on them in all sorts of conditions, high speed dirt, low speed rocky stuff, really limestoney, bad corrugations, sand, and tarmac, pretty much done most of what you can do for testing shocks really. Short of it, they have been very, very good. Okay, especially across the desert. I've driven across the desert now on about 6 different shocks, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them just in the last kind of since October. So I've driven across a lot and I've done the same route many times, so I really have a good understanding of how they should feel. And as you'd expect with a remote res shock, they should feel as good as they do in the morning. At the end of the day, they should feel the same, all right? Because the most common thing is, even though you're going slow, the weight distribution, the constant up and down, cooks the shocks and they fade. And then, especially in the afternoon, I mean, it's just a terrible ride, okay? So I can tell you that they did not fade at all, and temps didn't get very hot. I didn't get them up really over 50, so they didn't get hot one little bit. And it was the same on the corrugations. High speed dirt, they were really, really good. A lot of control, very sure-footed. The car felt very confident driving the car. You do need to play with the adjustment settings though to get the perfect ride with them. And they have 8 settings. There's the remote res there, and there's a dial on there, and you can turn it up and down. It only does compression. So the rebound is set as it is, and the rebound's good. I have no problem with the rebound, especially even with all our weight. Compression 1 to 8. At the moment, for doing what I was doing across the desert, fully loaded with the trailer on, I'm running at 6 at the front and 7 on the back. For the different road conditions though, you need to adjust them a little bit because they are pretty finite in the adjustment, and it does make a difference. It makes a real big difference. For example, I was coming down the bitumen, I had them on 4 on the front and 6 on the back. But with all the weight, the front just felt real wallowy. It just felt really bad. So I cranked up the backs to 7, put the fronts up to 6, and that really improved the handling. So same when I get on the dirt out of the sand, I might want to back the fronts off a touch just to take make it a little plusher ride. So anyway, they've been very, very good. And if you're the type of person that likes to dial in your car and change your settings and stuff, and you can really notice that sort of thing, you're going to be happy with them. They're a pretty good shock, so no dramas with them at all. Righto, so the other thing that we put in Alice, which I've got in the Hilux, and I mentioned before, are the parabolic springs. So I'll just give you a little rundown of how they've gone. So basically we put them on in Alice, we drove around for a few days, let them settle, because all springs will settle a little bit. So we did that, and then we were happy with our measurements. Before I get into those, I'm only going to give you a couple because I want to confuse it too much, but first of all, the review on the parabolics. You won't find a better riding leaf spring than these springs, okay? They are a very, very specially designed spring. These are a mine spec one, well over the 700 kilo rated 4-leaf parabolic they do. This is a 5-leaf military mine spec. It's super, super heavy duty. Now, usually when you put a spring in like that, it's going to be a firm ride. It just is. And if you're really, really concerned about rides, you wouldn't buy a leaf sprung car, I suppose. But anyway, these springs unladen, even the super heavies, are very, very good to drive on. They have lots of flex, they're very light, and they carry load really, really well. I'll just show you a little bit of them under here. So you can see there, they're just, they're a 1 to 5 leaf pack. Usually on a 700 kilo leaf spring pack, which is lighter duty than these, you're getting 11 leaves, basically. So you're halving the leaves down, and they are a funky design, you know. You can see them, they kind of go like thick here and sort of come up thin, and they're out there. They're out there, they are. But I wouldn't put anything else on these days. Now, load carrying. I told you they ride real nice and have lots of flex, and they're lighter than all the others. Load carrying. Now, once we had it all settled down, you know, we came up, we had the other springs in there. We got about 2 inches of lift out of these compared to the others, which were a 50mm raise too, but they'd kind of had it. They were 500 kg springs, and even without the trailer on, the canopy and the stuff in there, they were just way down. So we got a couple of inches, which is what we really wanted because it wasn't looking real pretty. Now, when we put the trailer on, we dropped about 1 centimetre. So before leaving Alice, which had only been driven around for 3 days, with the trailer on, we're at 87 centimetres in the back. Now, just flog these things across the desert, loaded to the absolute hilt, and they're proper settled in now, and they've dropped just 1 centimetre, just 10mm. So they're sitting at 86 centimetres now with the trailer on, even after the heavy desert crossing. Now, when I take the trailer off, it sits up at 87. So when I put the trailer on, it's at least 200, 230 kilo ball weight. It only drops 10mm. So it carries load. They carry load absolutely perfectly. The ride across the desert's the best I've had. The shocks certainly helped with that as well. The Train Tamer Pros that we've been testing, they really did help the ride across the desert, which is usually such a violent thing for shocks. So there you go. The Parabolics, Terrain Tamer Parabolics. If you're going to buy leaf springs, honestly, just go and try them. They are absolutely sick.